This conference will now be recorded.
It's 6:31 p.m. We're going to call our budget work session meeting to order. We'll start with our flag salute and moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Karen, can you give us the sunshine statement and roll call, please?
Sure. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting has been given by filing written notice with the Township governing body and the Township clerk, mailing written notice to the Township's official newspapers and the Township website, posting written notice on the official bulletin board in the Chesterfield Township Municipal Building, and providing notice to all who requested same. Ms. Botcher?
Here.
Ms. Codestale?
Here.
Mr. Lika?
Here.
Mr. Panfili?
Here.
Ms. Hughes?
Here.
And just a reminder for everybody to speak into the microphone.
Any agenda matters requiring recusal?
No.
Being none, we will move into our 2026 budget discussion. This is our second workshop meeting to go through the budget. Our third? Second or third?
Check.
Second. We have one more scheduled and are open to scheduling additional if we need to. Tonight we'll be focused on our Department of Public Works. We're going to grab Troy in here in a second. And then if we have time, depending on how long that takes, we'll do our clerk budget as well. And we're also going to do our capital requests, the DPW related ones as well. So just bear with us for a sec while we grab Troy.
Do you want to start with the?
We can wait for Troy. He's here.
He's here.
It's on page 30 though, if people want to open up to it while he comes in. There he is. Hey, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate your time tonight. We can run it the same way that we've been running. We'll just go through line by line. We'll start page 30 and just have an open dialogue back and forth.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Well, it starts with road repairs and maintenance, salaries and wages. We have a note here that says that it includes an allowance for a foreman's salary review. Now, my memory is that we had approved that last year to go into the budget because he was promoted, but I wanted to have that clarified if that's correct.
So yeah, it was budgeted for, allocated for last year, and the budget was ultimately approved. So my thought was that that was already approved, and he should have received that promotion at that point.
And that was for becoming foreman, correct? It wasn't.
That was I believe he became foreman a little bit before that, but that was a merit increase to bring him up to speed about where the foreman position should lie.
Yeah,
Was approved in last year's budget,
Yes.
it was.
and it was in the salary ordinance.
I don't believe it was in the salary ordinance, but it was in the budget.
I just feel like in the spirit of the fact that he worked to get this increase in, we should consider giving it to him. That was the thinking last year, and I don't know why it wasn't in the salary ordinance. It might have just been an oversight.
I'm
I don't
comfortable
know.
leaving it in there. I think that we should probably have a executive session discussion maybe on
Okay.
and deciding. I know we just passed the policy for salary increases.
Right, and that's going forward, but I don't
So-
think it should be held to someone from last.
There was,
When I started working here in 2024, he was already a foreman.
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
I don't recall any discussion among the group at all beyond that.
I don't either. I don't
So
recommend.
there was a memo sent to mayor and committee dated December 18th, 2024, outlining the salary adjustment that went along with that during the budget.
What year, when was that?
The memo was sent December 18th, 2024 to our township administrator. It was also sent May 20th, 2025, and again, September 5th, 2025.
So maybe you could send that to us all again. And then we
Absolutely.
can, as Rebecca suggested, we can have a separate discussion about it.
Yeah, I think I'm more comfortable with that. Moving down to the increase from 1,000 to 5,000. The road repair and maintenance.
Who gets that?
Yeah.
It's a part-time.
So a couple of years ago, we did actually hire a couple summertime guys, summertime help. We're looking to possibly have that again this year, depending on what happens with the Old York Village, with the contract over there. We are sure that we're going to be able to handle it, but it might be nice to have a couple of summertime help, come in. And it's usually local college students that we get for 20 hours a week.
Do you think even with the expanded department being fully staffed, we would still need additional summer?
It's not that we would need it, but it would be nice to have.
You pay 20 hours.
We usually do the
$20 a
summertime help is about 20 to 24 hours a week, depending on their schedule. The last time we did it, I believe we had 2 college students and we kind of worked around their schedule. They had a couple, the one kid had another job, so we kind of worked around his schedule a little bit, but it was about 20, 24 hours a week. And they basically come in and help us weed whack. They don't do any of the heavy lifting stuff, but they do come in and help weed, those kind of things.
Okay. Moving down Pipestone and Patch, would this be the line item that would be the stone for Fenton Lane that would go in the drive?
Pipestone and patch, it's basically everything. Yes,
I'm
and
wondering, since we're going to be paving Fenton Lane as one of our grant that we'll hopefully receive in the next couple of months, if we're able to do anything with that line item to balance that out.
so Pipestone and patch does not necessarily go in the parks. It does sometimes. That's more for the roadways, Pipestone and patch in the roadways. If I have a storm drain that's broken, a pipe, a crossing that's broken, Pipestone and patch traditionally is what fixes that pothole repair.
Potholes too?
Yes, repair
I
potholes.
think this year.
We've had a pretty hard winter. We have a lot of potholes, so I'm anticipating a lot of cold patch and pothole repair this year.
Do you know which line item would be the stone for Fenton?
It's in parks,
Okay, so we'll get there.
further on, yeah.
All right, thank you.
And that might even be a miscellaneous item down in parks. I don't know that we
I would
actually
like to reduce
identify.
that. I mean, I know that one of the reasons we chose to pave there is to balance out with those savings. So I would like to reduce that line.
So we also have the extension, I mean, Fenton Lane, just the beginning portion is stone, but the rear portion is stone as well. We also have Margin Road Park with 2 parking areas that have stone as well. So they have to be maintained.
Yeah, but
So-
proportionally, I think we can probably reduce that.
We haven't gotten that yet.
No, we'll get there.
Okay. The note increase from 150 to 200 under boots allowance, need personnel policy change.
Yeah, so what we have is, obviously, we have 8 employees. Everybody gets a boot and shoe allowance. That boot and shoe allowance has been $150 for years. With the cost of living and the rise and everything, I mean, a good pair of boots goes for $300. So most of our guys do pay over $175, $200 for a pair of boots.
You know what other towns offer?
It varies. Other towns, one of the towns I worked in, we got, I believe it was $200 a year, but they didn't give us the money. Like, we actually had a boot store that we went to, and the township gave us a slip, and we just went there and bought a pair of boots up to a certain amount. I believe our neighboring town has it included in their clothing allowance, and their clothing allowance is upwards of $700 a year. So
What is our clothing allowance?
we provide uniforms for our staff, and that's the line above it.
No, I understand the total, but I'm wondering how much does each employee get?
We don't give them anything. We
Okay, we
provide
buy the
them.
actual uniform.
We provide them with uniforms, but like, we do provide heavy winter jackets. We provide the sweatshirts are bought, hats, those kind of things, gloves, those kind of things. We buy those.
You've got 2 line items here, parts and supplies and equipment.
Supplies and equipment, yes.
What is the equipment? What falls under that?
So the equipment, I believe last year we bought a salt spreader for our pickup truck, cutting edges, some of those kind of things. Those are under equipment. I asked Wendy today why they were under equipment, not parts and supplies. And she said sometimes they vary back and forth.
So what was under parts and supplies?
Parts and supplies, just everything else under the sun.
Blades,
Yes,
motors, all that
everything
stuff.
under the sun. I mean, I could name a million things, but yes. And equipment for that as well. we have jumping jacks, we have vibra plates, and they're relatively new, but if those machines go down, they're $3,000-$4,000 a piece. So you have to be prepared to have those items.
Wondering the landfill fees, we appropriate 3,000, but the last 2 years we've only spent 200 and 740. Is there any room to cut that? Is there
So
potential
that's,
that it would be 3,000?
a lot of that is, I leave that there because of community cleanups. We just don't know. We could have a big dumping. We could have a project where we're doing a major cleanup. A couple of years back when I took over, we had quite a bit of cleanup around the Public Works yard facility. So we leave it at 3,000, but if you wanted to cut some out of that, we could, obviously. One of the questions to me was the landfill fees, is that where we're going to be using our dumping fees? But as we get further into the budget, that's under the stormwater line item for the street sweeping dumpings. So we could dump that out.
So we could reduce that maybe to 2,000?
That's my plan. Yeah, I have that noted.
What about the
Just wanna reduce
signs? We
that.
skipped right over signs. It bumped it up to 4,000, but you spent $800 on signs last
So
year.
yeah, we did a inventory last year. There is a ton of road name signs out there that are custom signs. They're expensive, and unfortunately, we have a million roads, and a lot of the road name signs need to be replaced.
So is he going to go ahead with doing the signs though?
And yes, that's who I was just talking to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. He's looking to put a project together. Boy Scouts looking to put a project together for the Welcome to Chesterfield signs. And we were just finalizing what he's looking to do so he can get a presentation to the committee soon.
And the committee will have an opportunity to approve that before.
Oh, absolutely. He has to come in and do his demonstration, and he'll ask you for approval. I think he's also going to look to you guys to give you a couple options of different signs that you can choose from, sign size and color, I believe.
So we could cut that pretty drastically then, that $4,000, right? Can cut it
Well, no,
down.
that 4,000, like I said, that's the road name signs. These are, we got a lot of road names out there. I think I had a list of about 40 road name signs that are missing. So,
Oh, that have to be
yeah,
replaced.
that they need to be replaced. Yeah.
So do you think we could at least cut something out of that? Because we're doing
I'm
the
sure we
Welcome to
could.
Chesterfields?
No, that had nothing to do with the
Oh,
Welcome to
okay.
Chesterfield
'Cause you
signs.
put a note on that. That's why I thought it did.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that had nothing to, we actually, the Welcome to Chesterfield signs, we figured that out in a different line item. There's a $600 line item that we use for like a Boy Scout project or something like that. So that we'll be using for that.
Okay, so you think
system
it's
this
going to
year.
be 4,000 to replace the?
Well, 4,000, it's not just for the signs. There's some posts that need to be done, the breakaway systems, the bolts. I mean,
Right,
it's all
right,
bought through that. So yes.
All right.
The mailbox reimbursement, do we know how many mailboxes? Do we have a count of how many were damaged?
So yeah, we're skipping over to the next page. Okay, mailbox reimbursement. Currently, we're already at $2,400 this year. There was policy put in place, and because of the nature of the last snowstorms, we've all talked about this. We're paying the premiums out. Wendy put $800 in that line item. It depends on what you want to do. If we're just going to pay these out every year, then I can't tell you how many we're going to need next year.
Very weather dependent. It's hard to know, hard to
Exactly.
plan
Extremely
for.
weather dependent. It's dependent on the storm. It's dependent on the homes. So, again, we're up to 2,400 so far this year. So that obviously needs to go from 800 to at least 2,400, 2,500.
Road miscellaneous, what does that encompass?
Road miscellaneous, that's PSI, one call, eyewashes, CDLs, anything that has to do with CDL licenses, those kind of things. PSI is our company that we use for drug testing, screening, so forth. They also do anything that has to do with the DOT requirements.
Once you hire, your drug testing should be done. You're not doing random yearly, are you?
Yeah, we have to do randoms.
Yearly.
Yeah, we do randoms all the time under CDL rules and regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a certain portion has to be done annually, and I believe it's 2 times annually, but PSI is very good. They handle everything for that. But again, that's also our eyewash station or those kind of things. That's all under the miscellaneous.
How about the salt? I know you mentioned last time when we were just talking about this storm.
Salt, yeah, salt is Salt's a tough one. We have a reserve for salt. We've already tapped into the reserve for our salt. 35,000 is tight. If you ask me, our state contract is $65 a ton and that's delivered. When they ran out of salt, it went and skyrocketed to what were we paying $110 a ton for salt?
That's before it was delivered.
And that's before delivery. So, I mean, we're looking at salt has quadrupled. We haven't been able to purchase. We got 4 loads a couple weeks ago, and then we're still waiting another week for another 2 loads. I don't believe the state contract has even gotten salt in yet to fulfill their obligations. So we are kind of just sitting idle like most other towns at this point, waiting to see what happens. I don't know what the future is going to hold with the state contract. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep the pricing where it is. So that's an unknown at this point. 35,000 is good, but we need to make sure we keep that reserve at, I
The
believe
other
it's,
suppliers, if you were under state contract and you were buying from the state contract, the other suppliers weren't supplying.
they weren't supplying. No,
Wasn't
not at all.
supplying.
If you didn't have a contract, we didn't have a contract with other vendors. They were not going to sell to us. That's why we declared the emergency and did what we had to do. This year has been extremely difficult for everybody across the state, not just New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Everybody's in the same.
Even homeowners can't get salt.
Yeah, it's been very difficult. So again, this is pre-me. There was a reserve put in place for this specific reason. And again, we tapped into that. I think we're 10,000 into the reserve so far this year. So, you know, we need to actually replenish the reserve and make sure we have enough going forward.
So
Was
And
that
ju-
around 90 when I left?
I think it was 60, 65, somewhere around there. And just to,
When I left, I said.
oh, when you left, yeah, we might have tapped into it. And just to give you guys some kind of background, I did do a little background on salt just because I was kind of curious. To do a 1 round of the township, this township takes about 50 to 75 tons of salt. That's 3 trucks. And our salt barn holds about 20. So in 1 3-inch snowstorm, if you do a round before the storm or as it starts, in the middle of the storm, and then after the storm, you're looking at 9 loads just for 1 storm, and then continuous the next day or the day after with icing and so on and so forth.
All right, moving into stormwater. Now, I'm assuming that these, it used to all be under stormwater miscellaneous, that 100 from last year.
Yes.
is now split up.
Yes. So this is new. So this page is completely new. Obviously, we have a new stormwater regulations that we have to comply with. These are guesses, our best guess possible that we can think of. And we want to keep it as lean as possible. So, you know, we're anticipating parts and supplies. Those are sweeper parts. Those are whatever we need as far as inlet grates and so on and so forth. We're figuring about $40,000. It's a good guess, a roundabout guess. If we're looking at,
The sweeper should not need parts this year.
well, no, it shouldn't, but it's going to need parts, brushes, brooms, those kind of things. So those are wearable items. So you
No, I
have to
understand that,
replace.
but It shouldn't need them this year in the
No,
budget.
oh, absolutely, you need them. Brushes and brooms burn out. They say about every 30 days, you're going to have to, every 30 days of sweeping, you have to replace your brushes.
250 hours.
It depends. And it depends on how you're sweeping, what you're sweeping, what the pressure is. So there's a lot of dialing in there that goes along with it. I can't give you an hour right now of what we're looking at. But for every 30 days, you're replacing brushes. Now they're not as expensive as you think. They're about $300 to $500 for a set. So it's not as expensive as you would think.
Where's the rest of that 40,000 going? And then tied into that, we have the stormwater parts and supplies and we have the stormwater equipment.
Yep.
Which is 60,000 combined.
Yes. So stormwater parts and supplies, parts and supplies could be heads, grates. That could also be bin block. That'll be your concrete. That'll be those kind of things. Where we're replacing or rebuilding our inlets. And we've been rebuilding inlets like going out of style. Then you have Stormwater equipment, we just don't know what we're going to need for stormwater equipment. I've actually thought about having some things previous, which would be cameras, scopes, those kind of things. We don't have any cameras. We don't have any scopes. Those items, it's classified under equipment, but they are extremely expensive. I mean, you can get a camera system, you get a simple camera, push camera system, but for a 30-inch pipe or a 25-inch pipe, a 2-inch push camera doesn't work. So they have them on wheels. It could be upwards of $250,000 if you get a truck unit, or they could be upwards of $10,000.
Something like that needed in order to be able to do our work, or would it be more of a luxury item?
It's not a luxury item. It's an identification item. If I have a sinkhole and it's 30, 40 feet in the roadway where there's no inlet on either side, you send a camera down there to find out where you're going. It's a locator. It's easier for us to figure out. So we're not digging here, 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 and here. We can find out actually where the break in the pipe is and dig. So those are items that are multifunctional. You can use them for stormwater. You can use them in sewer. You can use them in different areas. But that's an item that, getting further into our infrastructure with the aging infrastructure that we have, that's something that the township should definitely be thinking about having.
My preference would be for something like that. I think it should come before us separately. And I guess it would, even if we approve the funding, would we still have to approve it since it's?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, depending on the price, depending on what I can get. I've been researching them. Like I said, there's ones that we can get for smaller pipe, you get what's called a push camera. But to do larger stormwater pipe, they have wheels, they're motorized, better.
Somebody charge to come out and do that.
They're expensive. I've actually had Bordentown. They've helped me out a couple of times because they have a truck. So we do a little bit with them. And that's obviously.
Small push ones you can rent from Home Depot for $50 a day or.
Yeah. And those are better for the push ones are only really good up to 6-inch pipe. For a storm drain to 24-inch, you're not going to use that.
Oh, you need somebody to come out with a truck.
Yeah. Well, not even a truck. There's other ones that are they're like little RC cars and they roll up in the pipe. But again, yes, that would come back in front of you if it was a dollar figure that was over $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I would be looking for approval for that.
I think this is something we're going to look at very closely, just because, it's the engineering, which is 25, it's the landfill fees, which are 20. And obviously those are expenses we'll probably need to pay, but it's another 80,000 for miscellaneous equipment, parts and supplies that I think we need to look at a little further.
Yeah. And again, like I said, this is our beginning year with a lot of the stormwater stuff. So we're not really sure where we're going to go. We're going to try and keep it as.
Landfill fees.
Sure.
So everything you sweep is going to be considered ID 27, I would imagine.
Yes. 106 a ton.
So shared service, is that being built into the contract for the other towns to pay for their own
Yes.
landfill fees? So
Yes.
they're going to have a dumpster on their sites. You're just going to dump there, not here.
So we're not bringing anything back in our town. No. So they will pay for the landfill fees if we do a shared contract with somebody else. If they do not have the means to do so, we would probably offer the service through our dumping, but they would pay for it and it would be tailored into the price. Other towns that if we do another town that has a DPW and has the ability, then they would be responsible for it on their own completely.
The way we did it in the draft agreement, I just sent it to New Hanover, is if we have the ability to dump it and direct bill them, or if they can set up their own account, whichever would be basically accommodated by the landfill.
So are we adding on top of this sweeping fee to transport it to the landfill and?
Time that it would take.
Yeah.
And a little bit for mileage and wear and tear.
Well, I didn't add that on. We have the time.
Okay.
That's the problem with doing shared service. You don't get the wear and tear and stuff on your equipment.
Well, I think we could add it into the overall price, make sure we add it into the price.
The way we did it now, that was considered in the rate that he and Joe came up with. That's what we did offer.
That's included in the rate. Okay, thank you.
The dump fees or?
No,
No, the wear and
Tipping
tear.
fees, what we offered is where the time to and from, and also our travel time to and from the customer town, we get paid for that. We have a daily rate of $1,300 per day. Anything that's a partial day, it would be a minimum of a 2-hour increment. So if the following day, his guys have to go to the landfill, it would be an additional 2-hour bill, assuming that we get that done within 2 hours.
And did you also put in that if we're down, that sweepings on them, say our sweeper breaks? So we're not responsible for their,
He'll put a lot of language in.
Cover us.
That's covered in there, yes.
can I see it? Can you send it to me?
Yeah,
Whatever, I don't care. Just send it,
Yeah,
don't
send
send
it
it.
to all of us. And then,
Yeah, you can send
I
it to
assume
everyone.
Dominic's gonna look at it as well, right? Just to.
Dominic actually drew it up.
Oh, okay,
Joe gave me language.
okay.
I gave it to Dominic. He added quite a bit in there, a lot of legal
Yeah, to cover us.
language to cover us. And that's in there too.
Okay, great.
Yeah, he did put it in there. We're not responsible for the success or failure of the stormwater regulations. We provide the service. We don't make any guarantee that they're going to be compliant with DEP. And also about if we're unable to provide the service, we'll do everything we can, but we're not on the hook for it. We're not going to go out and pay another vendor to come in to be our substitute. That will not happen.
So what's
Um,
left on engineering, Troy? That's, I know the county was doing a map when I got out 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So stormwater engineering, you got stormwater
Yes.
engineering budget.
Let's.
So
What
whatever
engineering
else is
is-
under compliance, I have to look at the line items again of what was in compliance. And I think a lot of that is your annual reports and some training and so on and so forth. I think there was another mapping element that needed to be done, a flow map. I think they wanted, but now they wanted it upgraded with actual flow, directional flow or something like that. I believe Joe has to handle that.
Understream.
Yeah, and directional, and I think they also wanted, they added size and direction of pipe flow.
Troy, would it, I think it would be a really big help to us if you could, under parts and supplies and equipment, put, I know you don't exactly know, but put in there what exactly you anticipate, because it's
Yes.
hard for me to look at this and not know. So if you could put in and send us all a memo of more
Absolutely.
specifically what you're thinking you're needing to buy this year, that would, I think, would be really helpful.
Then there's a miscellaneous budget as well.
Well, yeah, and under that too, under all of
I
it, just
agree.
more
It'd be nice to have some
specifics.
type of plan, specifics. It's such a big amount of money that just appropriating without really knowing or understanding doesn't seem great.
And
Yeah, I
know you had
can-
the grant, but there was only 21,000 spent under the stormwater line item last year.
The grant was probably 2 years ago.
Grant was from 2 years ago, yes.
Well, there was only 21,000 spent last year, 27 year before.
Yes, because
and
we
he only has
weren't
20.
full into the entirety of,
Total, Denise.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, but it's also under miscellaneous 21.
He's
so
got
I
an
know
extra,
where he
yeah, he's
gets
got
that
20,000
total.
in miscellaneous.
Um,
There was 100 budgeted last year and there was only 21 spent.
Mhm.
Yeah,
there's probably a little, like I said, there's probably a little bit of wiggle room in there, or a lot of wiggle room. I don't know. We're anticipating the unknown.
but at least if you could give us a better.
Absolutely, I'll
Write
try
it
to
down
do
would
that.
be
Really helpful.
Because we can't really.
Absolutely.
New Hanover comes on, then the sweeping goes back against stormwater in a way. It's miscellaneous revenue, I know that, goes under MRNA.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an ebb and flow. It depends on how many towns we do. If we do a couple towns, then we'll be, I talked to Wendy about it, and it's not an actual one for one in line item out to one line. It just goes back into the town.
Goes back in.
Yeah. But we can sit there and say, hey, look, this is actually where it went or where it came from.
Skipping down to the recycling cart. No, it's only $1,000, but what do those carts cost? Because it doesn't look like you've bought one for a long time.
We use the grant monies
Okay,
when we can.
and so far the grant monies have covered it. And how, and you think that would be the case for this year too?
I think so.
I think
That
so. And I think,
Only $1,000, but
and we talked about the new construction,
Yes.
doing something with that. So
we could cut that out.
that's a Karen question.
I'm planning on cutting that out
You
when I
think
meet with
so?
Wendy, yes.
Well, we have to do this as a group, Becca, this discussion.
No, I understand. I understand the discussion piece of it, but I think that there's a lot that can be cut out. And I think right now we're having a Q&A. I don't think we need to make any decisions on what we're cutting out
Well,
right
at
now.
some
We're
point we need to
understanding.
Make
Well,
decisions.
the cart purchase can come out because we
Yeah.
do have the monies in the,
Yeah, so
in
we'll
the
cut it
grant
out.
fund.
I don't want to make any decisions right now about cutting out. I see this more as a Q&A and understanding the department's budget and then making those decisions when we have a final budget.
Well, then how many nights are we going to devote to spending on looking at this then?
Well, I think this is our last night where we're having a department here. This is our final large department. And then we have the workshop next week before our meeting, which I think we'll be making final.
Well, I don't
decisions.
think so, because we have not made a single cut or a single decision tonight or the other night. We did had discussions with our things, but we need to actually make decisions of what we're going to cut at these meetings. And if we're not going to do that, then we're going to have at least another whole meeting, because an hour and a half before our township committee meeting is not going to cut it if we don't cut things tonight or make decisions tonight.
That is correct, because you're not going to be able to get a final budget without making some decisions so that Wendy can go back to the drawing board and put some of these things and then try and balance out the revenue and the expenditures. She won't be able to get a budget together without that.
I think
So if there are certain ones that you know that that you are all in favor of getting rid of, it's better to take it out now. And so at least we can go back and say, look, adjust these here, especially if everybody's in favor of it.
Yeah, I agree too.
Just going to move it along quicker.
I don't think it's necessary. I think I'm making notes as we go through this. I'm planning on sitting down with Wendy. I'm planning on making a lot of cuts to a budget that we can then propose and discuss.
But this is not your budget. This is our budget. All 5 of us.
It
were
is our
elected
budget
at
and we
that
will all have
meeting.
to agree
Yes.
to a final budget, but we don't need to make decisions right now to agree to cut things out.
Well, I think we do in order for time's sake. I don't mind. I'll come 2 or 3 more nights, but if we can get away with doing it and cutting it and getting away with doing the hour and a half prior to, and then having 1 or 2 more sessions after that, where we meet with Wendy as well as make these final decisions. And we'd have to go through the budget again, step by step by step, if we don't make these cuts tonight. Things that we're all agreed on. As we're going to have to go back and review the information that Troy's going to present to us.
I did not come prepared to make cuts tonight. Honestly, I came prepared mentally to hear public work, so I didn't bring a sheet marked up. So I presented tonight.
Okay.
We still,
Well, we don't even know what's under the stormwater. I mean, there's just a budget thrown in. I mean, we don't have all that information either. That's where most of your cuts are going to come from, the $1,000 here, $1,000 there. That's like.
I think your larger cuts are
you
going to
had
come from stormwater.
$125,000 in that budget. You spent 21 last year. I mean, they're your big items that you have.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not
So we're gonna have to come back
disagreeing
and
with
talk about
that.
it anyway.
But, oh, yeah, we are. Oh, I agree 100%, but I'd rather just
But I think
focus on
we
the
can
information that
handle
Troy gives us.
right away. We should just do that instead of spending more time. Like, if there's something we all agree on, we should just go ahead with that. At least.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
right now we agreed the card isn't needed. They just told us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can take
cut
that
that
out.
out. One little thing, but
What's the maintenance agreement? That's the $12,000 maintenance agreement.
Or
The
you're-
Buildings and grounds.
Where are we at?
Buildings and grounds.
on page 35,
35.
it's 310,252.
Oh, that's welding. That's our welding supplies. That's our Cinta first aid. That's our fire alarms. That's those kind of things. Fire extinguishers, those are all the maintenance agreements.
Miscellaneous parts and supplies.
That's Lowe's, anything going with Lowe's, it's gloves, it's fencing, those kind of things, just everything that goes with Lowe's.
Equipment. Yep,
Equipment.
5,000 under equipment.
Yeah, that was used for updating security equipment. That's camera systems, so on and so forth, under the buildings and grounds. I think there was also something we did at the rec building, was last year or the year before. We had to update the system with the camera system over there, or the card system.
So do you feel that you'll need to spend $5,000 in that I mean, you said that was done in the past, but what about this year? What are you planning to do?
So the system that is in the rec building is outdated, and we are currently paying, I think, a monthly premium to run that system, that software system. So there is a possibility of upgrading that. Equipment is also, in my eyes, for buildings and grounds, like in the rec building, we have an issue with some of the heaters. May need to replace a heater. So there's all kinds of different.
Yeah, I remember we had people coming and complaining about that a few
Yeah.
months ago. Yeah.
Shade tree removal, that's not storm damage, Troy, right?
Skip the.
Shade tree removal. No, that's,
As I flipped, I had a.
So I'm still on buildings and grounds because
Oh,
I
you're
wanted to talk about the fountains. Do any of the fountains work anymore? Do we even want to try to repair them?
where are we
Water
at with that?
fountains with that throughout the parks. So that should fall under buildings and grounds, correct?
Fountains.
Water fountains, water.
Oh, water fountains. Yeah, they
Water
all
fountains.
work. They pretty much all work. That's one of those deals. I believe Aqua comes out every spring and turns on the valves, and then they work, and then they shut them down. They're expensive. I mean,
They weren't working in the summertime, so.
some of them weren't
some of
working
them
in the
weren't
summertime.
working. And the
It's one of those,
bottle filler at the rec building, the outside fountain at the rec building isn't working as well.
we shut that down.
You shut it down.
When was
in
it not
summertime.
working?
Wasn't working.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to look into it because that one was just replaced like 2 years ago. And that's another one. Those fountains are extremely expensive. That one was like a $4,000 fountain. So
And I'm wondering, quite honestly, the way kids bring bottles, whether we need to even have water fountains. I don't know how many kids really nowadays or adults use water fountains. I think a lot of people are,
Well, that one there
Kind of
there's a bottle filler.
a bottle
Yeah.
filler would be a different thing.
That's what's there.
yeah, the
Yeah,
bottle
So,
filler.
but the water
That one was
fountains that are
replaced.
in the park.
Yeah, and that one, we shut it down every winter, so it's shut down now, so I couldn't even tell you.
Right.
As soon as we open it up in the springtime, I'll be able to tell if it's working or operating or not.
If it's cheaper to take them down, I think that's worth a discussion because I agree. I don't think many people use them. And if it's costly to maintain them, it's probably not worth them.
Yeah, that's one of the things, you know what, we can look at this year, at the fountains throughout, the village. There's fountains in every one of those little parks. Each one of those fountains has a valve. We pay for that every year. If they're not being utilized in that fashion, and again, they are extremely expensive to repair and replace.
I think if you could look into that and give us a report, I think we should seriously consider it because I just don't think water fountains are something people use anymore.
That's definitely something I'll look into.
Troy, what maintenance agreements went up last year and again? What maintenance agreements went up last year and again this year?
What maintenance agreements went up?
Yeah, you had a big jump last year from 24 to 25 to 12,000.
Where are we at?
Where you at?
Did I skip it?
I don't know what page you're on.
252?
Yes,
You're on
that's-
252?
No, but
Did you
it's a
say-
good question
Yeah.
of what actually increased
I mean-
to justify the cost increase.
I'm on page 35.
Yeah.
I don't have the
On the
page
bottom.
number. Or what's the account number? 252?
310, 252.
252, that's the maintenance agreement. Well, welding, Cintas, first aid, fire, alarm, that goes up. It was $12,000 last year, and that was a projection. That's one of those, one of our first aid kit in the Public Works Department.
Still goes back to, we're not, the fire, smoke, the fire extinguishers. They're
Yes.
rented, then is what you're saying.
Yes,
Maintenance
yep.
I was, when you asked, I thought you meant we're buying them year over year.
Oh, no. We have a service that comes in. So I project, worldly increases, those kind of things. It could go up at any moment, but one of our big ones is the Cintas.
That may also be like the copiers. We have
Oh, yes, the
copiers.
copy machines. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just made notes of a couple of little items that
I'm
we
just
use
thinking
in
it
those
could
items.
include the copiers. I don't know where everything's charged.
What youth community projects are listed here for 600?
Community projects, that's where the Boy Scout projects will come in. Last year, the year before, we didn't,
Well,
donate to
he
those
agreed
projects.
when I talked to him that they were going to do their own. So I don't know that we're giving.
So
them
most of the
money.
kids and the committee has always, hey, go out and get your own stuff, provide your own. And when I spoke to this gentleman just now, his project's coming in a couple $1,000s, in between $2,000 to $3,000. This is something that the committee has always approved. in case there was a project that came across that they would feel the need to, or the want to support. It's one of those items that we've had in there. We haven't really utilized it under that fashion, but we have in some way always helped these groups, whether it be with time, whether it be with last year, the kiosks, we went out, we dug the holes, those kind of things. So it came out of a different line item, but we still supply them with some kind of assistance.
Yeah, I think time support. Well, I mean, it's only $600, so.
Troy, I was asking for page 36 on shade tree removals.
Yes.
Is that dead street trees?
Yes, that's street trees.
That has nothing to do with storm. Is that including storm damages too in this budget?
No, that's more or less, this is just street trees. This is, dead tree removals. This is, clearing out secondaries. I got a couple roads with some big trees I talked to Glenn about today. We're actually sending to the homeowners. You know, they're questionable in the right of ways. Previously, Township Committee has authorized us to do the right of ways. Ordinances, it's homeowners' responsibility, so you can get into that issue. But no, it's about street trees.
I mean, I guess my question, last year we just went slightly over 11,000.
Yeah.
But could we live with 10,000 in that budget? Because historically speaking, I mean, I don't think we've planted more trees this year than we did last year. And I don't think we have more. Do you think we have more to cut this year than we did last year?
We haven't planted anymore, but we have a lot larger ones.
Do you think we have more this year?
Lee, if you want to drop it down a little bit, we can drop it down a little bit and I can see what I can do. I do get concerned with that. And if you remember, our previous administrator, you know, that was one of his line items, like, you know, you should probably have about 40 grand in there. We don't do much road clearing around our secondaries. So that's one of those line items that,
This isn't limited to Old York Village.
no,
Oh,
God,
just
no.
so
This
that's
is
realized, I
township
mean,
wide.
Yeah,
This is
it's-
township wide.
Yeah,
Anything out here is probably going to be,
yeah.
it's a.
You know, if I have a
it's
tree
anything. That's
Yeah,
the
the
problem.
of substance, you could be upwards of $1,000-$2,000 a tree for removal. One of the ones we're looking at right now, getting a price on, I actually called a contractor today and he's going to get me a price by the end of the week. But I'm projecting that one singular tree is probably going to be around 2,500, 3,000 for one tree.
Can we bring it down to 12 maybe? Right, instead of 15, because it was.
Like I said, if you guys feel the need to cut that line item, then we can cut that line item and I'll work around it. But, you know,
We also have to think about, we don't want a tree falling in the road and then having all of that.
and unfortunately, a lot of the trees on the outside of town, if they are in a situation where we need to get rid of them or we're protecting ourselves against a hazard, those trees are of such size and magnitude that they're actually cantilevering wires. They're cantilevering a roadway. If they were to fall, you are talking major damage. They don't meet the requirements of PSE&G, where PSE&G would say they're within the 15, 20 foot of their primary, they're over it and above it, PSE&G won't cut it. But they're of such size that they're extremely costly to get rid of.
Moving down 2 line items to repair.
Repair, yes. HVAC, plumbing, electrical.
Okay, so that's why it was so high this year with
Yeah.
the municipal building.
Yeah, and unfortunately, times of past are no longer what we can do. Public Works is kind of limited as to what we can do for plumbing and electric and HVAC.
That's general all building.
Yeah, yes.
Floors and building deep cleaning under buildings and grounds miscellaneous.
Yes. So the floors in this building have never been shampooed, cleaned. They need to be done. The building needs to be deep cleaned. We did get the building pressure washer a couple years ago. That's something that needs to be done probably at least twice a year. The floors, the linoleum floors probably need to be stripped and cleaned throughout. So my projection is to get that done. I would like to get that done. I think it's something that needs to be done. It just has never been done.
Did you get an estimate of what it would cost?
I have not gotten any estimates as of yet. That was a simple Google search when I was doing the budget of how much is it per square foot, blah, 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 or what's the general per square foot. So I can get and I would get, obviously, a price because it's more than likely going to go over our thresholds for quotes.
I'm going to jump to parks and playgrounds, ours on page 42.
Parks and playgrounds, yep.
I don't know if there's any questions there, but I didn't want to forget it. Oh, and then sorry, it goes through 43. Skip over the couple in between.
This 9,000 that's for parks and playgrounds salary and wages, whose part of, whose salary is that, Troy? Is that part of your salary? Is that part of somebody else's salary?
Probably.
That would be a Wendy question. I'm sure.
It's probably recreation.
Okay. So that's part of her salary.
That would be my guess, without
Okay.
looking at the salary resolution to see where everything comes from.
Yeah, that's just what I'm trying to figure, just to put in my mind where it's all going.
More portable toilets this year, Troy?
I'm sorry.
More portable toilets this year?
More than likely, yeah,
Where do we put those?
everywhere. We put them everywhere. Generally, we put one or two out front for lacrosse and flag football. We have one across the street. We will actually put a couple at Fenton Lane. We do them at Charlotte Rogers. We put them all over the place. I believe we even bring them in for special events. So, and that's another one of those items where price is going up.
Where is that? I don't see the,
Page 43 towards the bottom.
oh, the bottom. Okay, so I had
95.
questions about, now we have a line item for mulch for parks, but it's zero. Is that just been moved to another area of the budget?
Yeah, that's traditionally, and Wendy and I talked about that a couple years ago. It was 500. We didn't spend anything. Then the next year in 24, in 23, we didn't spend anything because we were going to eliminate that whole line item in together. And then in 24, it somehow got charged too. So then it's back at 0 and 25.
Okay. So so going forward, that's going to be taken out as a line
Yes.
item, your understanding?
That'll probably fall under a miscellaneous, a line item.
And then, and then the miscellaneous, the 20,000 Wendy put on here, cricket, is that 20,000 going for the repair of the cricket? or
So
is that
yeah, a
for
large portion of
repair?
that's going to go to the repair of the pitch, cricket
Okay.
pitch.
So, how much, do you know how much approximately is?
So for the AstroTurf alone, we're probably looking at somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000 just for the AstroTurf itself. Yeah, and then I would like to do an entire area over there where we can resurface it. We stripped out the old baseball field a couple years ago. That still needs to be done. There's drainage issues over there where we need to regrade seed itself. To seed an area that big, you're looking at several $100s worth of seed alone, fertilizer. It was also planned to do irrigation or get a estimate to do irrigation. One of the things with cricket pitch, they like their turf really short. So one of the things I was thinking is for long term is doing like a zoysia grass, which is short, but you need to have irrigation with that.
Are we buying all our water at Fenton Lane, or we got well out
No, we're buying. Yeah.
there? Dropping a well for irrigating fields?
I mean,
Pay for electric, a large pump, probably need a 5 horsepower pump or better.
at least, I mean, the initial cost would probably be high.
The orange.
Just gonna say that.
Not the grass, not the grass.
Yeah,
Well, I don't care what the water touches, it will be orange.
yeah, it's, you got soccer goals that are white, they will be orange, the nets will be orange. But yeah, there's always that comparison, which is better. Water costs money. It just,
Looked like Bournemouth put a tree, is that did they drill a well off of Hogback? for
I
those
think they did.
documents?
I believe they did.
Treatment System in the, in the.
I believe they did. Yeah, I'll talk to Adam and, he's the director over there. I'll ask him what they did. But I believe they dug a well and put a treatment plan in.
So at least they could give you an idea of what it
He can
would
give me,
cost.
yeah, he can give us an idea of cost because it's not a bad idea to think of for future. Even at Cricket Pitch, if we were to do irrigation over there, we have water. It's right on the street, but then you're paying for your valve, your connection, and then you're paying for the water, and water's expensive. When we run irrigation at Fenton Lane during the summer for a month and a half, it gets really, Wendy calls me and she goes, what's going on? Do we have a leak? Do we have a leak? What? And no, we're running irrigation. It gets expensive. I can get prices.
That wraps up my budget questions, and we can move into capital. But does anybody else have anything?
I just wanted to go a couple more pages and go through the electric, because Troy
Yeah.
might have some
Okay.
answers on the electric along with Karen.
That's a good idea.
So like the electric for buildings used to be 45, it's down to 10. So do we break some buildings out and like single out some meters or?
So when it comes to
there or
electric,
there or Wendy?
Same page.
yeah, when it comes to electric, I'm not
Bottom.
involved in that. She did tell me that our electric is broken out in what,
'Cause then there
10,
was-
12 different items.
Yeah, because then she's got 30 in on the next page, page 46, and that's 75 this year. And the control's 80. Streetlights are just ridiculous, but
Yep,
we pay per pole for that, correct?
yes.
So the ones that are running all day long, we don't really care about. They're not metered.
Run them,
It's their own
run
problem to go out and fix them.
You're paying a
We got to
fixed
worry
price.
about the ones that don't work at nighttime.
That's the ones we worry about, and we call on that. And actually, PSE&G has made it super easy. And when a resident calls and says there's a street light out, they can actually go on their PSE&G website and do a street light out, and it's very simple.
It's just crazy. We're spending almost $150,000 just in street lighting here.
It's expensive. It's electric.
What options do we have?
We don't have any
We don't have
options.
any.
It's just that it needs to be pointed out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy.
If the streets of the village are missing lights.
So the buildings, you're saying she moved some of that over to just to another.
We're gonna have
line
to
item.
ask Wendy that.
Yeah, that would
Looks
be.
like they made another line item.
If there's
Ask
a lot of electric line items, that's,
Some of them went to zero, it looks like. It looks like
Yeah.
one is marked for building, maybe that's just the building here, I don't know. And then everything else falls under the other, I'm not positive.
And I don't have a copy of that page at all.
Yeah, we'll have to ask her.
and the gasoline and diesel, that's just everybody combined,
Yes.
including the fire department.
Yes, but I believe they reimburse or they pay back.
They reimburse
They reimburse.
at the school, so we bill it out to the school.
That's police, fire, EMT, us, and the school. And the school did add a bus, I believe, or two this year.
But the school reimburses us, don't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Capital project. So Troy, I know you and I have spoken at length about the capital project list, so I will defer if anybody else wants to kick off questions on what I see as a wish list of requests,
Oh.
capital items.
I talked
Did
to,
you, street mowing, did you talk to anybody, put anything together?
So I gave,
He gave me some
I think
information. Did I send it to you?
I don't know, maybe.
I have a small scope of work. That's basically, 8 or 10 items
Give me
for a
some
scope
basic-
of work.
Pretty sure I sent it to you because I wanted you to.
I didn't say you didn't. So I drove the streets that you mow, and it's a piece of equipment that we've had for a while. And I think we should continue to mow the streets. So I'm in favor of the flail mower
purchasing it,
purchasing.
I believe so too.
We saw the bill, I think to rent it for a month was 8,000. So I
Yes.
am in favor. I think it's a piece of equipment that will get its use and that it probably makes sense to purchase as well.
I agree.
I agree.
I mean, when you drive the streets, you can see how many streets are outside of the district and just
It's massive.
ditches and swales and everything. And if we put it out for rent or, put it out for competitive bid, and then
gonna
they
be
miss
expensive.
something and you got to call them back in, it's just going to be a nightmare.
And
So,
I did the same thing, and I think it came up with almost 50 miles. You know, it's extensive. It varies from what could be 4 feet to almost 18 feet. There's ditches, there's trees, it's a lot. It's involved. It's something we've traditionally done for a very long time, and I think it's something that we give to the residents that, it's a service that we provide to the residents of the community.
so
Well, and it's a safety issue too.
Absolutely.
Talk about corners.
Absolutely.
Yes.
residual value on the old one, is there any?
Yeah, so no, there
No.
is not. I asked I believe the repair cost was $22,000. The trade-in value at the point without fixing it was 2,000. And if we fixed it for 22,000, they would have gave us 15. So it's unfortunately the tractor, we had a discussion a couple years ago when this happened. Tractor is 21, 22 years old. It was only built for 4 years. It's an English built tractor. Parts are obsolete. You can't find parts. The transmission went a couple years ago. They couldn't even get an OEM part. They had to get an aftermarket part and it had to be built. And again, unfortunately, that's what the problem was. The transmission went down again. So we lost forward gear. To actually have that replaced, you're looking at custom built products. And then given the nature of the tractor, what it is, 4 years English built, 21 years old, 22 years old, it doesn't have any value. We will get value for it. We will get something for it. It will go to auction and we'll get whatever we can get for it. Hopefully somebody will buy it. Even if we put it on Gov Deals, maybe we'll put it on Gov Deals and somebody from Kansas will buy it. Who knows?
Try. When it comes to the first thing, the public works, the DPW shop and site improvements, all of that, obviously we're not going to be doing that this year. But I would like to say that a couple years ago, we had someone approach us about putting a, a rateable on that spot. I'd like to look at Joe's plan and see if we're able to fit in a couple of ratables and work on trying to get businesses to go in there to kind of offset. And then next year we can revisit, where we stand with that and because at some point we are going to have to do something about public works. And I think we need to make a 2 or 3 year plan around that.
Yeah, I asked Troy to get prices on.
Yeah, I haven't gotten anything yet. I
I
have
gave you 3 items to do.
generator, roof, and septic.
Yeah.
I haven't, unfortunately, given the weather and what we've been dealing with,
I know.
I
I just-
haven't moved forward. Plus, I did talk to Joe. The committee did give Joe the authorization to go ahead and move with the subdivision of the
Yes.
Green Acres. So he's still working on that. And once that's done, then we can have a projection of what the actual subdivision of the entirety of the entire lot would look
And
like.
I'd like to really look at that this year and decide, are we going to be able to divide it into doing some ratables or not? So I think that should be our goal for this year, to look at that as a plan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it has, but I think we need to really seriously look at that, see if there are businesses that want to do that. We reach out to some and kind of come up with a plan.
And I will have some concrete prices hopefully within the next month or so about the 3 items you asked me about.
And then we need to, so are we going to put them on the capital projects list then once we get an idea to do that or not? Those 3 things.
The roof is bad.
I know.
So, you got to at least look at the roof.
Yes, I agree with you. I think
Generator.
it's unfair to keep this.
I think we should see what items are critical versus deferrable.
There were the 3 items that are pretty critical.
Yeah.
He can't be without a power during storm if power goes
Exactly.
down. He's the first responder, so.
No, I
building needs
agree.
power. It needs a
I
roof.
think you could, by next week, can you try to get it for the next Thursday's meeting?
I could try, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think the question the committee is going to be faced with is if we decide to invest that however much it is on the critical items, then we're not going to turn around and, 2 years decide to do a new DPW. We have to make that decision that we're going to be investing in this.
And
where it is.
that's been my statement since day one. Why throw good money at something that's walking away? So for 6 years now, we've been talking about the DPW facility, and it's just, I'd hate to throw good money into a building that we're going to abandon. We can't, right?
If there's any chance we're going to do the DPW. I personally think that would be an incredibly difficult sell to the taxpayers, but it's not just my decision.
Ask you what would be the, I guess, the lifespan of the repaired facility versus a new facility?
So again, the facility, I mean, we can start chipping away at this thing, and, my personal preference would be to stay over there, and not move the building over here. If doing that, we can start chipping away at the roof, the power grid. We'd have to put another outbuilding out there. We have to look at a new salt barn or adequate salt barn. We have the area over there, to do these kind of things.
What about the septic?
Septic we have an area to do septic. That's, again, going to fall onto our engineer, because he's going to have to really look at location, but he's also going to have to do the projection of the forethought of, okay, are we putting a salt barn here? Are we putting an outbuilding here? Those kind of things. So that's something I'm going to have to work with Joe on, but we do have area over there.
But that's a pretty, from our conversations, it's not something that was going to be able to last for a long time.
Oh, absolutely not. That needs to be done. Those kind of items the roof, and the three things that, yeah, those are critical. And I believe the water is also critical, but I believe the DEP is doing something with the water over there. So.
When we talked, we sort of looked at this when Wendy was here the other day, and one of the big questions we had was the basin maintenance.
Mhm.
She knew nothing about how many needed to be dredging, what that $500,000
So
included.
first and foremost, that basin maintenance, the dredging, that is actually funded. That's going to be funded through our basin maintenance. It just needs to go into our capital line item. We have basically 18 basins over there. I believe 9 of them have 4 bays. Out of the 9 that have 4 bays, which are containment systems, those actually need to be maintained. Those all basically need to be dredged dredged back to what they should be. They need to be desilted. The 4 bay is a containment area. When everything comes off the street, goes in there. It's like a filtration system. Then it goes out into the basin itself, and then over time travels out, and the clean water goes down into the river, the creek or stream, wherever it's going. Our 4 bays are getting to the point, and some of them are already at the point of 100%, where they are silted in 100%. So all the road grime and everything's just coming in, going over the 4 bay and going right into the basin. Now the basins themselves are becoming silted in. We noticed this year, one of the basins that we drained, the pipe at the bottom of the basin was about 2.5 feet underneath.
Wow.
Sludge. And that's,
You're just draining and dosing, right?
I'm not doing anything. That's going to be up to a company, and it depends on the bottom of the basin. If it's a clay hard bottom, they're going to go in and they're going to do what they have to do. But I believe that it's dredging, but it's not dredging. It's the same concept as a dredge. They're going to suck it out.
They're all clay bottoms, but they're all clay bottoms. They're all clay.
I'm pretty sure they're all clay. None of them are infiltration.
So
If they were infiltration, then it would go away.
do you think there's enough money in the account, in the trust account, to cover what needs to be done this
So
year?
I got some costs. I got some preliminary costs, daily costs, what it costs for a truck, what it costs for this, what it costs for the dredge. And there's 693,000 in basin maintenance. Now, mind you, once that money is gone, that money's gone. It's not replenishing. But it was put there for this reason. And, we have to maintain, this is a stormwater line item. I mean, we have to maintain these basins.
So if you do this type of maintenance, how long does that?
So the nice thing is with stormwater management, if you're keeping up with your stormwater management, with the implementation of your street sweeping 3 times annually, it should limit the amount of silting that's going into your basins because you're going to be sweeping the roads 3 times a year.
It's been 20 years.
So this is the first time.
20 years. Some of the basins are 10, 15 years old.
Yeah. So, if we're sweeping and we're maintaining our roadways, you could have the potential of keeping these basins clean and working in working conditions for 25, 30 years.
So if we
before it needs to
spend
be done again.
most of the money that's in the maintenance trust fund now, we're not saying that 2 years later or 5 years
I
later.
don't,
it's
yeah, I
gonna
would not
be
say
a long
within 2
time
years you were
before-
going to need to re-desilt these basins. No, I would say once they're done.
When K-Hop got off
It was a long time ago.
bond, but we made K-Hop de-silt them all before we took them over.
It was a long time ago.
That was a long
That was
time.
pre-me.
I was here, so it wasn't that long ago. I was sitting up here.
Never, I'm not happy with you.
Which one was K-Hub?
With me at all.
Which one was
Actually, Wilson
K-Hub?
was a client because of that.
American Properties, I think, across the north.
The north side?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, they did that.
They did the-
I would say
they did
18,
this in Reckless Town too. I mean, the big-
2018, 2019.
I thought it was 2017.
Was it 2017, 2018, somewhere around there? I imagine they did
So
it.
does that one need to be done, or that's not one of the ones that needs to be done since it was done 10 years ago, 9 years
The
ago?
north side actually isn't so bad. The north side is the Coleman Town Preservation, the 4 bays on the left that actually goes, there's a 4 bay on the left-hand side if you're looking at the dead end. What's that?
All the south side too. Reckless Town, all the way around.
The Reckless Town has 2 4 bays and one of them is broken. So that needs to be repaired. I don't know about that one because we don't drain that one. That one we've never been able to drain. I don't think that has a valve. Actually, it doesn't have a valve. That one sits below the water table. So we can't drain that one. I don't know what the silt is in there. You'd have to actually have that silt tested. So that one, the big one, I'm not aware. I don't have any information on that one.
But I feel like we could use, and tell me if you agree, use the money from the trust fund to do the work that needs to be done.
It's the only way to do it.
Oh, absolutely. That's where it's coming from. Yes.
Yes, so, I mean, I think that we should, but I think we should do it.
Correct, but
And get it
for
done.
today's purpose, we don't need to worry about the 500,000 there. We've already had.
We have it. That's my.
Yes, that's a funded item is what that is.
I feel, but we should have a capital contribution year over year to make sure on a 15-year lifespan, 15 years, whoever's sitting up here doesn't have to worry about coming up with $750,000.
There needs to be a projection going forward. Yes, you have to prepare for the future. I mean, this is not going away.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So that's that.
Troy, just to get moving along here, the cold planter, the garden tractor, and a small tractor.
Yeah, so the garden tractor and small tractor, that actually should have been combined. The small tractor with attachments was something that we had talked about previously, and that's a smaller garden tractor so we could utilize for our baseball fields for, with a tiller on it to till our baseball fields. Put the sprayer on there. We have a bigger tractor, but using the bigger tractor sometimes is not efficient. Then this winter, obviously going through this winter with what we've been going through, we started looking at a more efficient way to handle our sidewalks and such. And we believe with a smaller tractor with a V plow on the front and a drop spreader on the back would be a better way to more efficiently handle our sidewalks and our ADA ramps. So I looked into a smaller garden tractor, and to combine combine them together, we're probably looking somewhere around 60,000 with the attachments, but that's something I can actually finalize once I talk to the vendor and put it all together.
So I understand this. You're saying you have 2 line items, garden, small.
Yep.
Combined, your requisition is for $60,000 for one.
For one, yes. That
So
was
it's-
supposed to be changed and it was not.
Okay, that's good to hear.
So instead of 70 and 45, that becomes one line item at 60. And that may even be able to be decreased or increased a little bit one way or the other, depending on the attachment.
And a cold planer, that is front.
Cold planer, that is for our skid loader. Yeah, and that's been on my bucket list for years. That's something that Jeremy and I like to
The good
argue
news
about
is
all
you're
the
so
time.
young, you can ask for it again next year.
I will throw in the first year I put it in there, it was about $15,000. It's a ticket item that keeps going up through the roof. That is utilized to assist in repairing roadways and making sure that our cracks are filled. And we do crack sealer every year. And some of the cracks in our roads have gotten to the point where crack sealer does not work. It's gotten to the point where you need to actually mill them and then repave them. And that, all that does is extend the life expectancy of your roadway. It doesn't allow for the water, the moisture to get underneath the roadway and pop and create issues.
But given that one of the things we're going to have to look at is planning for our roads in the next few years, because
Absolutely.
a lot of them are already starting to fail. A lot of them are 20 years old. So it might be the time to look at doing that type of work, because I think we have to make some serious decisions before we start having a lot of these roads in Old York Village, as well as our other developments are going
Yeah,
to.
those roads are never going to get grant funding either. You're not going to get a DOT grant for any of those roadways. So that's all township.
But out of your three big requests, would you put that number 3?
What are my three big requests? Flail mower is absolutely definitely number one. The garden tractor
Attachment.
would be number two, and the cold planer would be a
So
number
the
three.
cold planer, you got high flow.
Yeah, so the John Deere 333G, that's got a high flow.
I called the guy I rent stuff from today, and I would suggest renting a cold planer for now,
Okay.
and dedicate like.
Is it-
Say
Who was it?
I called Foley.
Cat Foley Ransom? Okay.
I called Foley, but you can call Jessica and probably get one.
They don't rent them.
Foley rents them, so they're $400 a day, $1,200 for the week, or $2,500 for the month.
Okay, that's actually a pretty decent price.
So
400 per day, you said?
$400 for the day, $1,200
Okay.
for the week, or $2,500 for a month.
Is that your cost or my cost? It's a fair
I don't know.
question.
I don't know.
No, I'll call them. I'll get a
You
price.
tell her.
And actually he quoted a brand new one at 25,000. So it's
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I'm comfortable crossing that off, renting for now.
Yeah,
That way
I'll
you
definitely rent it.
dedicate- Just pick a project out.
Now,
there,
is that,
a week's worth of work, and try to get a week's worth of work
you
done.
picked
rent it.
you picked his brain about it. Is that self-contained with a water unit on it?
It's all self-contained.
Okay, because this one, John Deere is self-contained, all water unit. You don't have to put the tank on the roof, none of that stuff. So I'll definitely call him. That's not a problem. I'll reach out to him.
So we'll take that off.
Yeah, definitely. You can take that off. That's fine. I will be looking to rent one though for at least a week, if not 2 to 3
Yeah,
weeks this summer.
Yeah, you rent it for a week and
Yeah.
dedicate 3 guys to the.
Absolutely.
project, and-
Yeah, absolutely. One guy will just be running it all day, go and
I know
go
I
and then
looked at the
asphalt.
storm inlets on some of the alleys. The ones.
Oh,
that- all the
absolutely.
alleys,
Yeah. So
they all
there's,
need to be milled around, and there's even, there's even bricks missing in the inlets themselves.
yes. So that's one of those things that we're doing is we have a running log of a lot of the inlets. They've lost their top course.
Yeah.
A lot of the inlets, what
Top
we're
course is blown
finding,
out.
they didn't mortar them.
They're not mortared.
So
They're just put in.
Pretty neat.
Mortared on the outside, I'm sure.
pretty neat.
Inside's not mortared.
And we go in there and we lift off the grate and they just go, whatever's left, they
Yeah.
fall in. So we're going in and actually replacing. That's what I said earlier. We keep bin block in stock. I have 2 to 3 pallets of bin block in stock. We have pallets of concrete. And once the weather breaks, we're out there doing inlets, just replacing the inlet, just doing that top course. I think we probably did 25 or 30 last year alone.
So that answers some of our questions we have about about why he needs all of this equipment and these materials, because
Yeah, and again, this year too, some of that stormwater line items we're transferring out of some of the other items like pipestone and patch. Well, we might be transferring that into a stormwater line item to identify them more clearly. But again, that's one of those, this is a new era with this whole stormwater thing. And they keep coming up with new things all the time. We just got an email the other day. There's a new policy that they're putting in place, that the DEP is putting in place, and everybody has to adhere to it.
I'm just asking this because I asked Chief the same thing. What do you have that you don't need? Is there anything surplus?
What do I have that I don't need anymore? We actually got rid of a lot of equipment. You know, I've gotten rid of a lot of equipment over the last 5 years, and we've really gone down and tried to make our building over there efficient and effective, and everything that we have has a purpose. Off the top of my head, we took over a couple construction vehicles, the old construction vehicles that are destroyed. They are going to, they're going to the sale this year. I don't even think they're having the sale this year.
Oh.
So that might be going to
The
gov.
white ones that are still snow covered, they're the.
Two white ones, those are construction. I did look at our grader. We have the grader over there. Jeremy and I talked about the grader. Uh, That's a hard one for me because it's just sitting there. It doesn't owe us a dime, but are we going to get anything for it? Is there a value to it? I'm trying to think that,
The reason I bring up the perception, I heard last fall was the excess vehicles, if they're excess, it's perceived we're storing stuff. Like, I even drove, I didn't know the two pickup trucks were.
those are the old construction vehicles and
Yep.
yeah, we're literally waiting for them. We took them out of this parking lot, put them over there. We're literally waiting for the auction. That's what they're waiting for. So they will be going to auction this year. Like I said, the grader, very possibly that's going to walk away this year. Again, I'm still a little torn on that one.
What do you do if they don't have the auction? Is there another mechanism to sell?
Gov deals. We'll probably wind up putting on stuff on Gov deals. Gov deals is a hit or miss. Other than that, Lee, I don't think I have anything else out there that's,
The roads and infrastructure, do we know what road segments are our highest priority for 26?
so roads and infrastructure, that was an ordinance that we had in 2009 that was put in place and that was funded. I think it was $250,000 when that was funded. That's for smaller jobs or for quick pickup jobs. That actually is another line item that could be funded out of the pipeline reserve. That's where that money could be funded for. That's for the alleyways, the quick things that need to be done. If I have to go in and repair, say 50 feet of roadway and it's going to cost something. We did actually fund something a couple years out of that ordinance and it was the Sykesville Road. We actually funded out of that ordinance to keep the project moving. Otherwise we would have.
Balance of that fund, the 2009.
Balance is, I think there's only a few 40,000 in there, if that, 20,000, somewhere around there. I don't remember what the balance.
But it would require doing a new ordinance, but we could take the money out of the pipeline settlement
Yes,
fund.
and that's where that money would come from. It wouldn't be new money. It would be money that's in that line item, but this would allow us to move forward. Like if we have
He's got it being bonded.
I'm sorry?
This is
He's
for a
got
new
it being
bond.
Oh, she has it being bonded?
Yeah.
Well, when I talked to her today, I asked her, couldn't this come
She's
out
got
of
it being
there?
bonded here.
So I asked Wendy today if this could be funded out of the pipeline. She said absolutely.
So then we would only have to do a resolution. We wouldn't have to do an ordinance, I don't think.
That's more than likely, yeah, a
We wouldn't have to do a
resolution to
project
add
out of
money to that line item.
We'd only have to do a resolution.
But I think the ordinance was to have money set aside that they could just use it as,
Just pull from. as
yes, just
necessary.
pulled from as.
And again, all that money that,
Reserve account is for, isn't it? To pull from if you need it?
Then we should make it.
Yeah, but
clear
I don't
where
know.
we want it to go.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I don't know.
do it.
This was, like I said,
I'm
this
just
is
saying,
because
I
of the
think we need to
depleted one that
clarify
was
how
out
we're
there.
doing.
That was a bond ordinance years ago. That's why you could pull out of it. And if you don't pull out of it, you can either cancel it or keep it on the books and
Okay.
continue to pull out of it.
Yeah, that was before my time. So I'm just going by what Wendy said. She said that, yeah, she said it could come out of the pipeline settlement fund
Yeah.
too. So
And I think you only have to do a resolution.
to set aside $500,000 that they could.
Oh, I don't-
He gives you a project, gives you
Yeah.
an estimated cost on the project, and you
if that's the way you want to handle it, that's actually a more efficient way to probably handle it. Then we can do it that way.
Okay, I don't, either way, it's fine with
I
me.
think we can take it off. That's fine.
Yeah,
I did have one question about something on here, but it's not for Troy, so I'll wait to the end. So I'm actually going to ask George.
Yeah, I think, does anybody else have anything for Troy?
no.
Okay. And before you ask that, Lee, I'm going to turn to the committee because I know it's getting late. Do we want to quickly run through the clerk's budget or do we want to call it a night and do that a different evening?
I would rather do it tonight, but I'll defer to the majority.
I'm fine doing that. I'd rather just power through, but I know it is getting late, so. All right, Lee, you want to ask your question as we open up the
George,
clerk on page
We
4?
heard last week, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago from Chief regarding this accreditation. I'm trying to do a lot of, I've been doing some deep dive on this and I'm hearing mixed signals. All I want to know, what is the savings from the JIF? What is it?
The JIF are not tremendous. Maybe, I believe in Monmouth County, we would get 5, maybe 7,000 off. And he gave you a really honest assessment of where they are now and why it's not practical with the young staff that he has. It's a worthwhile endeavor. Almost every police lawsuit today, one of the big targets is lack of training and lack of supervision. to have these policies in place and have them in order will give them a defense if something goes wrong, that they had the right policies in place, that their people were instructed. A lot of these departments, they get really jammed up because they don't have the right policies to guide the officers. And we talked about having another outside entity do it. That's the way everyone's going. You have your own people do it, you lose the manpower, and you spend more in salary because it probably takes you 5 to 8 times longer for your own staff to do it.
On the sheet, the capital project request, is that to outsource this or to?
Yeah.
That, okay, that would be,
The outsource.
and
But
is that yearly?
No, that's the cost of the project.
Okay,
And after that, they do updates on it, but it's nowhere near that.
so it's a one-time rollout fee,
That's-
then a
that's to
maintenance
do-
yearly
They
maintenance.
come in, they review and revise all your policies. They help you set up your systems, especially for evidence maintenance, so that everything is accounted for. I don't know if they have a barcode system here. They probably don't have that much in evidence, but that's all reviewed, brought up to standards. It keeps you out of a lot of trouble.
I got the impression from Chief when he was here that he doesn't think now is the time to do it this year because,
Correct. No,
so-
that was not.
so we can take it off for this year and revisit it next
Yes.
year.
Yep.
Thank you.
Troy, thank you for coming. Your budget is obviously one of the larger portions of the overall budget, so appreciate you taking the time to go through it with us.
I appreciate you guys. I
Thank
really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Praying for none.
Good day.
Yeah.
Hey, bite your tongue.
Praying for none.
Bite your tongue.
Yes, all of
I
us.
don't. Went back
Just
up.
let the weatherman scare the DOT. That's fine. That's all we need.
What?
Let the weatherman scare the DOT. So we called in at least.
3 to 6, 70%. Not happy.
No, me either.
Not
All
happy.
right, clerk's budget starts at the bottom of page 4.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
Take
Troy.
care,
Troy, thank you.
See ya. The only real change of mine is the website design and support. And we originally put that under capital, but then when I talked to Wendy, it's really, I just told her it really wasn't because it's going to be something that would be absorbed. Not all of it. This includes the setup.
So this is a mistake. I have the website and design and support for 24, and then I have the computer maintenance and service agreement for 13. Is that?
Yeah, that's gone. Yeah, that
So 13 is out.
the
It's
part that
all in the other.
the part that was in the capital, we moved it into the operating because it really, it's not a capital project. It is, it'll be an operating cost.
But even in the regular budget, on the bottom of page 5,
Mhm.
computer maintenance and
Oh, wait.
service agreement for 13,000.
Is that the same as the package is what?
Is that the same?
Oh.
as that
It's the
incorporated into
package.
24,000?
She's talking about the bottom.
I see what you said. I
122,
think she
52, and
duplicated it because
She did say that in her notes to the, to the Budget Advisory Committee.
looks
that
like
was
it's duplicated.
duplication.
Okay, so we're
Mhm.
taking
I really wasn't prepared to talk about this tonight, but I know we were putting in 13,000 for the overall connection of it, and the original, what it'll be about $4,600 per year. The first year, we have an initial setup of everything of $7,700 and change.
24,000 would make sense then, because you're at 13 plus
Yeah.
4,000 implementation plus historically using 7,000.
So we take out the.
Right.
the
It really, I don't know that it belongs under computer maintenance, but
So is that X second year social media full cost 40? So that's the second year of this program is the 4,200? Or is that something different?
the,
I'm looking at the note now under the website design and support.
okay, that's the agenda minutes package, as well as it would also include the media package as well, not social media. That's two different
Yeah,
things. Social media, I'm trying to look at what she has written here. Social media is the archiving of the Facebook and anything that we put on social media. Because we have to do that. That's just,
And
it's
that's
required.
4,200.
I believe so. We paid half last year. I'm just trying to, 5 and 6. Yeah, she put it in both of them. She put the social media over here. So really, this 24 should be cut down $13,000.
So should we cut out the 24 and keep in the 13, or cut out the 13th and make the 24 13? I'm just saying so we get it in the right spot.
What Karen said, make it 24/11 and keep the 13.
That's fine. It really doesn't matter. Well, I mean,
Okay. 11 instead of 24, and then the one at the bottom of page 5, we cut it.
right, whichever, you got to take 13,000 out of one of them.
Just a brief overview of what the agenda and meeting management will provide.
Yes. And I have it listed under clerk, but this would be for every board. And basically what it would do, there's a lot that it does, but in a nutshell, it allows for a portal for all of the board members, committee members, whatever. You have your own sign and you can log in from any location. All of the documents would show up there in that portal for you. The plans, so we can do away with plans for the planning board. Everything would show up in this portal. You'd be able to see it on the computers, enlarge it, whatever you wanted to do. Sometimes even on the planning board plans, it's really hard to see something on a plan because they're written so small where you could actually take it and now blow it up to see a specific section that you're looking for something. That's just one of the things. The agendas would be part of that. The agendas automatically generate and go into your minutes automatically. So a lot of it is saving time in producing a lot of the stuff. Nothing would get missed because you automatically, like I said, your agenda is automatically going into your minutes. During the meetings, we can easily bookmark something, and with the media portion of that, somebody can actually doesn't have to go to another site to look at or open up our GoToMeeting. We would still use GoToMeeting, but they would go to our website, click on the meeting for either a live link, and it would be a live streaming right from there. They don't click on that and go to another sign in here. It's just a one-stop shop. They would upload all of our meetings for the last, I forget what it was, it's either 3 or 5 years. So they would archive that and put that all on our site as well.
And
As
that
well
would
as the
be
minute
done
agendas.
automatically. You wouldn't have to do that. You wouldn't have to.
Right now, once the minutes or once the video is done, it's on there for viewing at any time. Now there's just steps we have to take to upload it and send it to YouTube and connect it to the website. So it's just a lot of cumbersome stuff where things are going to be done almost automatically. Same thing with the agenda items, your resolutions, your ordinances. It's a push of a button you're now going to publish it on the website. You can take those packets that we send to the township committee or the planning board or whatever and make whatever we want available to the public prior to the meetings so that the public is seeing whatever you guys want me to release prior to a meeting.
Which I think is sorely needed.
But it's really just streamlining a lot of the work.
And getting it done
Yes.
and
The
saving.
benefit to the
yes.
public is mainly they can access the meetings easily, like just with a quick, just click on
That's
the link.
one of the things. If we go with the media packet, yes. Originally, I was just looking for the agenda and minutes, but it makes more sense to pull it together with the media portion. That media portion also allows, you could have multiple meetings going on at the same time. It would allow for Q&As if you wanted to have a Q&A with the governing body or whatever. It could be published on that if you wanted to do something at the Harvest Fest or whatever. It's just that all of that stuff could be imported.
Is there like a demo for this social media package? We can see like.
Well, it's not social media. It's not social
I
media.
mean,
No,
whatever
This
you
is just our
publish.
this is just our website.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more user friendly for public, and it finds everything in one spot, as well as I believe like for the planning board but we could use it for all of them.
We could use it for the
For up to
EC
5. So the
and other-
EC, the HPC, the planning board, the township committee, and it would leave us one open, which, that could be whatever we wanted to be.
That's good. I get a lot of complaints and I'm not saying this to diss you because I know you're busy, but how long it takes for
It
things
does.
to get up on our website. And people are complain to me frequently about that. We've had people come and complain at the meetings about that. So I think if we can have that done automatically right there, I think it's a service to the community.
Yep.
What's the annual subscription cost you said? Sorry.
42.
$4,600 a year. That would be each year. Oops, I might have. Hang on a second. If I have the wrong thing here, I will send it out to you when I go back to the office. Um,
Well, here it says full cost, oh, that's,
I know it's 13,000 and I have the proposal for something else here in front of me.
yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I know she has the correct price in here. I'm sorry, annual recurring is 10.
Oh, where do you see that?
That's in my proposal. Right, the 4,200 was, or the 4,600 that I said was prior to having the media.
Not on that. She has a-
Oh, her own agreement, okay.
Right, the 13 is correct.
So 13 would be what we put in the budget for this year.
Correct,
Year over year, subsequently will be 10,000.
10,000.
correct.
And then I wanted to ask you about the codification. When does that get done?
As soon as it's sitting there waiting for them to send it all to me. So the ordinances are there. Once they send them back to me, then they'll send us a bill.
So,
I won't get that until,
because I'm just looking at 2 years ago, it was 5420. And do you think
it all depends
5,000
on
is
how many
gonna be enough?
ordinances.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
wondering.
Not all ordinances get codified. So it only depends on which ones are putting laws into place, not necessarily any bonds or salary ordinances. Anything that doesn't put a law into place does
Right.
not get codified.
Okay, but you think 5,000 would be enough?
Fingers crossed.
4,200 for archiving the social media, that just seems incredibly high. Can you just see if there's any other options? I don't think I had any other questions in this budget.
The only thing for Karen, is Wendy in the market.
Yes.
Did she ever do a revised draft? Remember when she presented finance, she said she double counted Old York maintenance, Troy doing it and outsourcing it? I just would like to see the
Okay.
revised budget with that.
I know she's aware of it because she mentioned it when I met with her earlier this week. If it's not out yet, it will be.
Yeah, I think she's waiting for these changes.
I think she's just waiting for
Yeah,
direction.
that's
of-
what she's told me. Do you think, here again, it's only $1,000, but the elections, we spent 4,200 last year. We budgeted 6,500. Do you think we could lower that to 5,500? I'm talking about 122.31.
I do not know. I don't, that's a bill we get from the county, so I don't
Yeah.
really,
I'm just looking.
Cost us to have early elections held here.
just the electric and the building being open. Do we get anything for it? No.
They don't pay us.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything for our budget discussion tonight?
I have a couple items for application, if I can run them by you. On the capital, for the rescue squad, we had a request for 32,000.
What page? Oh, the capital
Right,
budget.
capital.
Yeah.
Just want to hit these while we're
Yeah, no, good idea.
automatic chest compression for the ambulances. We have 2 rigs. George Senf contacted me and made the recommendation. Mansfield has them in their ambulances. They're external chest compression devices. If CPR is being performed on someone, instead of an individual doing compressions all the way to wherever they're taking the victim, these machines actually continue the compressions. I was not fond of saying, no, we're not going to do it. And God forbid something happened and we had someone that would.
Yeah.
So I think for the amount of money, it will equip both rigs. It's also got a 7-year maintenance and preventive maintenance contract involved. I think if it,
If it saves a life.
if it
to me,
saves a
it's
life, I
worth
don't want to get
$32,000.
but it's true.
I'm wondering, is it something we need to bond for? If we're able to cut enough from the budget, would it make more sense to put it in the budget?
Well, the budget is going to go against your cap. It's here, it's a capital expenditure. It'll be a long-term purchase.
Just because it's bonded for doesn't mean it has to be funded.
think we should go ahead with it. You guys think?
I think it's probably worth, I just don't know if there's somewhere else we can pull the dollars from, if it's worth having that conversation
Or if
instead
there's
of
a grant
bonding.
for it. Is there a grant for equipment for EMS or anything like that?
I don't know what resources they have. I've never.
Yeah, I don't,
I think if there was, George would have brought it up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Could it fall under any of the qualifications for some of the money that we have in various accounts? I know it's a Wendy question, but that's
I don't think-
my
I
only-
don't-
I know it's an important thing, and of course, if it saves a life, it's worth it. I'm just wondering where we pull the funding from.
I don't think it would fall in any.
stormwater.
I don't think it would fall under any of those trust funds. That we
Well, I'm
have.
just, what I'm saying is we could take 32,000 out of stormwater pretty easy, I think, by looking at what was spent last year and what's budgeted this year to pay for this.
I'm not
I
going to
think
say
you
no
can
to
find it
this.
in the budget is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know.
Well,
what makes
but
more
if we
sense.
find $32,000 in the budget, maybe just take 32,000 out of the budget. You know what I mean? Like, then with, with whatever cuts we make.
We have
No,
time
I
to
just- I don't-
contemplate.
Yeah, we
I just
do.
wanted to put it on your radar that it's unaddressed.
Yeah, we can visit this future, how we want to pay for it.
The other thing, a recurring expense that's been out there for a while is the air quality study, 29,000.
I think we should cut that. They haven't spent it for 2 years. They haven't asked for it this year. To me, I think we should cut
I
it.
don't think it's even in the budget.
No, it is in the
No,
budget.
she didn't carry it over, but I wanted to make sure you were in
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah. I'm in
Yeah,
agreement to
but
take
I'm
it out.
thinking we should just
Contact
cut the
about
line
why it was
item.
removed.
Yes.
And the boot allowance, I know it's only $50 a person, but it would require a change to our personnel manual because that's specifically listed for the 150. Was that approved? Everyone's okay with that?
I didn't hear it approved.
We didn't discuss
Somebody
it.
voted on it.
Okay.
It has been 150 for as long as I can ever remember. Probably 20 years.
I don't buy boots, so I don't know what's appropriate, but if it comes up, we just need to know we'd have to do it.
Did they go out and get
She
prices
put
for
the note,
uniforms?
she put a note in here that it would
We do
require.
it through a co-op. So we did when we originally did, and they're part of a national co-op. And that's where we purchase them from. And we've just been continually doing that.
It's not a lot of money, but you already mentioned Boardtown just gives them a coupon and contract. Does it make sense to contract and give them a coupon and go pick out their size?
I think it's worth looking into before we just increase it without really knowing much about it.
Would you like me to call Troy tomorrow and ask him to look into that?
Sure.
You can,
I don't think the cost is that.
OSHA required for steel toe boots and shoes and everything else. I don't see you getting under $200.
I don't either, quite
for
honestly.
boots.
And I don't know that, and I mean, unless you found somebody that would give us it for 8 guys or, I don't know that they'd give us any big discount. It's not like we have a big public works department where they'd be getting a lot of orders.
Well, if we know we're going to do it, then let's start the process of, you said by ordinance, is that by ordinance or by?
Well, no,
Resolution.
we just do an amendment to the handbook. There's no rush on that. It's just something that we'd have to follow
You can't forget to
if the
do.
decision is made.
All right, we're moving into public comment. Can I get a motion to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Or you can go right over there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know which one was that. Susie May on 16 Chesterfield Crosswicks Road. I just had a question on the line item that you were talking about with the media portion of the website and like posting the videos of the meetings and such. I realized that the meetings for the planning board, HPC, environmental commission and all that stuff. They're not videotaped, but I believe they are voice taped, but I could be mistaken. If that's the case, would that, whatever you have budgeted, could we get the voice tape posted, or is that like an impossibility? Because, I'd like to be able, if I miss a meeting, go in and listen in and hear what's said, or look at the video if possible. I mean, maybe I'm one of the only few residents that does it. I mean, I don't know, but since we're paying money for this, would that be a task that could be included in that amount? I mean, I'm just curious.
You said it would include the other.
It is. We just don't, at the present time, we do not put any of the others on the website. It's just the township committee meetings.
But we could include them.
Well, I would appreciate that as part of, being that we're paying for it. I don't see why we shouldn't utilize that tool.
I
So
think
that's,
we should.
Even the planning board shouldn't be up there.
yeah. So if that would be something that to consider, I would like that be considered in the budget and as a task to be done. So,
And you are not, I don't think, the only person that would avail themselves of that. I know I hear from people when we have a delay, like I said, and this is, I know it's not a criticism, because I understand but when it takes a long time for things to get up, people notice. So I don't think you're the only one that
yeah.
looks. And
Well, I mean,
there's other
I
people that would
look at the
appreciate
website. Karen knows if I see something, I mention
Yes,
it,
we know.
it. Yes.
I'm a tester of the website, so I be
But there are other
unofficial.
people, I think, that pay attention and
Yeah,
would
but I think if we're paying for something $4,200 or whatever you said in that price point, whatever could be included in that 4,200, I'd like the township to take, advantage of. So, and that's it for me. Oh, and the other thing is, well, next time, 2026 budget, it would have been nice to have the topics. Like, if we knew you were doing Department of Public Works, would have been nice. I don't know what we're covering the next time, but I mean, I plan on attending, but sometimes it's just nice to have that included. 2026 budget is pretty broad. So, thank you.
point. Thank you.
Hello, Steve Hazen, 447 Main Street. Just to give you food for thought for maybe the next time budget, you realize that if you do approve the HPC budget of doing the survey, let's say it's going to be $20,000. To be compliant with state historic preservation office requirements, you're going to probably knock out half of the homes in the historical district, which leaves you with about 100. 100 homes are about 4% of the township. Well, just tonight, if you're going to spend $20,000 on 4% of the township, that really doesn't benefit them. Why don't we give Troy the $20,000 for his salt? Excuse me, which would benefit the whole township. Because I'm sure there's the next time there's a snow and there's no salt, oh, we gave that money to HPC. I think people would like their roads cleared. Secondly, if you are going to do that, I would suggest that you also include the continuing education that the HPC members are going to have, that you include the planning board. The HPC is advisory to the planning board. The planning board has the ultimate decision making. But if the planning board has no clue what the HPC is supposed to be doing, how are they supposed to know if the HPC is telling them the correct things? Case in point, 440 Ellisdale Road, new construction. Well, we don't have an official period of significance. There's nothing in the ordinances. There is nothing on the website, but it's probably 100 years outside the period of significance. And page 48 of our amended guidelines says that newer properties, non-contributing in the historic area, don't have to comply with wood. The HPC told them they had to have a wood fence on their driveway. The HPC should have no authority over a non-contributing property, because a non-contributing property by definition doesn't contribute to the value of the historic district. So the commission that's tasked with keeping the historical value is telling a structure that's already been defined as not contributing to the historical value what they can do. So I don't think that's right. The planning board should have said, overrid that. In fact, it shouldn't even gone to the HPC. It should have gone directly to the planning board. So if you're going to include that survey, I think you need to also include money to pay for the planning board members to have the education.
Anybody else in the room who would like to come up? Being none, anybody online?
Doesn't look like anyone wanting to talk.
None, can I get a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We do not have an executive session, so can I get a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.